Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of the Peace Clinic. We appreciate your presence and thank you for taking our time to join us. So, the Peace Clinic is brought to you by the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management, and I remain your uncle, Janet Michael, the Director for Media and Information. And I have here with me Mrs. Olarewanju Sherifat. You're welcome, ma. You're welcome, ma. Okay, unfortunately, we cannot hear you.
Oh, muted. Let me see. Okay. Can you hear me
Okay.
now? All
Yes,
right.
yes, we can hear you clearly.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, the audience.
You're welcome, ma'am. So
Thank you
Mrs.
very much.
Sherifat is a student of the ongoing 1 month training course in emotional intelligence, and today she'll be sharing with us her experience so far. And also, we will be discussing on the topic what evidence exists to support the claim that higher educational intelligence leads to more successful peace building outcome. Once again, we are talking about what exists to support the claim that higher emotional intelligence leads to more successful peacekeeping outcome. There are several claims that emotional intelligence is important, and also it has led to successful peacekeeping actions, and we will be looking at these claims if they truly exist. So when we're talking about emotional intelligence, we're talking about the ability to recognize, to understand, to manage, and to influence both our own emotions and the
Thank
emotions
you.
of others. It actually involves a set of skills that individuals have and also know how to navigate in order to handle conflicting issues. So once again, thank you very much for joining us. You can do well to reach out to us in the comment section. We would love to have you in this conversation. So tell us your name, where you're joining us from, and also your thoughts concerning this topic. So over to you, Mrs. Sherifat. First, we would love to know your experience so far concerning the 1 month training course in emotional intelligence, and also we would love to know what you want to say to us concerning this topic. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Once again, I am Olariwaju Sherifat. As I've introduced, I was being introduced by the moderator. I've been a student of Institute of Global and Peace and Institute of Global and Peace Conflict
Global peace
Management.
and conflict
Okay,
management.
I'm so sorry about that. So the classes have been so interesting, and our lecturer has been doing very wonderful in reaching out to us on what emotional intelligence is all about. For the past few weeks now that I've been attending the lesson, it has been something I don't want to really miss because it puts just, I mean, it actually did justice to the course. Emotional intelligence is a wide topic, and I will advise that whoever has never, whoever has never done anything about it, or whoever doesn't know anything about it, should find a way of knowing about it, because it doesn't have to do with being a professional. As an individual in your society, in the environment where you live, you really need emotional intelligence. As one of the members in the family as well, you need emotional intelligence, because without emotional intelligence, you won't be able to relate very well with the small unit of the family, and not to also talk of the environment at large. So emotional intelligence, the course so far, yeah, it has been so interesting. We've learned a lot of, about it. Should we talk about the elements? Should we talk about how it is related to leadership? And then should we talk about using it to to make decisions? All these aspects of emotional intelligence are very, very important. As an individual, there's no way you will not want to take a decision on your daily basis, and there's no way you will not want to relate accordingly in the society or even among your colleagues as well. So emotional intelligence is a very beautiful course, and I didn't regret being part of the course. I'm so grateful for for the initiative. That is it. Then going to the topic that we are to discuss today, which is what evidence exists to support the claim that higher emotional intelligence leads to more successful peace building outcome. As I've said earlier, emotional intelligence is a skill that every individual needs to learn. Is a skill that every individual needs to work on. Though some people will claim they know it, they have it, but there's always a need for us to always continue to build on it. I hope we are together. Can you hear me? Okay, all right. So it's something we really need to build on. So what is emotional intelligence itself? Emotional intelligence is it refers to a person's ability to effectively recognize, understand, and manage one's emotions and the emotions of the others. So what does this simply mean? It means that firstly, you need to recognize your own emotions. After recognizing it, you need to understand it. After understanding it, there is need for you to manage it. And this management actually comes in relations with people around you. If you don't know how you always feel, if you don't know that this is what triggers your emotions, you won't be able to manage it. But with the knowledge of emotional intelligence, it will help us to understand it. It will help us to recognize the type of emotions we do have at intervals, and to also manage our own emotions and the emotions of the others. When we are talking about the emotions of the others, it has to do with your relationship with the others. If someone is angry now, are you supposed to also be angry with the person? There is a fight in a place, do you supposed to also make it hot, or you supposed to control your own anger so that you'll be able to make peace with the other person? So emotional intelligence is a skill ensuring that we build peace and we resolve conflict in any situation. So now we now go on to the elements of emotional intelligence. We have five elements according to Daniel Goma. The first one is self-awareness. Looking at the definition, I said there's need for every individual to recognize. You can only recognize if you are self-aware. You need to be aware of the type of emotions you do have. What triggers your emotions? What makes you happy? What makes you angry? What makes you furious? What makes you fear? All those things are very, very important. So the first model or element is the self-awareness, which has to do with I'm coming, which has to do with understanding your own emotion. It has to do with knowing the type of emotions you have. Okay. It has to do with the type of emotions you do have on daily basis. So that is the first one, which is the self-awareness. The second one, which is self-regulations, has to do with managing your emotions. At this particular time, if someone should raise a voice at you, you always get angry easily. There's no way you can control another person the way other people talk to you, but you can only control yourself. But in a situation whereby someone talk to you in a rude way, how will you be able to regulate your own emotions so that you won't escalate the issue at hand? That one is another element of Daniel Goleman's element of emotional intelligence. And the third one is motivation. Motivation has to do with your internal drive. What are your passions towards achieving something great? For example, you really want to manage a situation now, you have to be passionate about what you do. That's when you'll be able to manage it. Then the next one is empathy. Empathy has to do with putting yourself in another person's shoes. Are you really feeling the same way other people are feeling? So this is another element or component of emotional intelligence. And the last one is social skills. Social skills has to do with the way in which you relate with people around you. Do you communicate with them effectively? Do you make your information clear? Do you talk to people in a polite manner? All those things are very, very important. So emotional intelligence skill, I mean, is a skill that someone needs to learn, that someone needs to build upon, and someone really needs to to use in interacting with other people. Looking at the five elements I've just mentioned: self-awareness, self-regulations, empathy, motivation, and then social skills. All those things are very, very important in every, I mean, it's they are very, very important in the society we find ourselves today, because people are really hungry. Let me put it that way. You don't know what people are really passing through. We have mental illnesses everywhere, but if you are able to manage your emotions very well, you will get along with people around you. That's all for now. Okay, now emotional intelligence and conflict resolutions. Emotional intelligence is very, very crucial in ensuring that it build peace, it make peace, and it ensures there is peace in the society. Someone who is emotionally intelligent will ensure that he or she manages her emotions effectively, and then understanding the emotions of others as well. This is very, very crucial. If you understand your own emotions, you know your triggers, you know what can make you angry easily, you know how, when to get angry, and you know how to control yourself or to manage your anger. There's no way someone will talk to you that you won't be able to regulate or to manage your own emotions. So in peace building, emotional intelligence cannot, in fact, it's something that's very, very essential, because someone who really wants to make peace has to be emotionally intelligent herself, him or herself. And part of it is empathy. You want to make peace, you want to resolve the conflict now, you have to empathize. And how do you empathize? You have to ensure that you understand the way other people are feeling. That is when you'll be able to connect and understand their own needs. It is when you understand their needs, that is when you'll be able to care for their needs, and then that is when mutual communication will set in. So empathy is very, very important, and if you're emotional intelligent, you will be able to have the skill of empathizing with the people, the parties you want to make peace with. Another one is emotion regulations. It is when you are with the knowledge of emotional intelligence, you'll be able to regulate the parties emotions. You work on yourself first, then for the audience or the parties that you want to make peace with, how are you going to help them regulate their own emotions as self? You remember that I said emotional intelligence has to do with understanding. You recognize, you understand, and you manage your emotions and the emotions of the others. So if you are able to regulate your own emotions, you should be able to have the skills to use in regulating the two parties that you want to ensure they resolve their conflicts. That one is going to, it's that's going to be one of the outcome of using emotional intelligence to solve any conflict. You will help them to regulate you by calming them down, then let giving them listening ears, empathize with them. That will help them to know that, okay, this person is here to know, to help us with our needs and then resolve conflicts. Then another thing is improved communication. This is very, very also important. It is important in the sense that emotionally intelligent person will be able to give room for open communication. An emotionally intelligent person will not be judgmental. He or she will not be unjust. Sorry, the person will not be unjust, because there's going to be an open communication. She will be ready to listen to both parties, to know what their needs are, to know what their grievances are, and to know what to do to calm down the situation. So emotional intelligence is something that can be helpful to make peace and to resolve conflict. Another point I have here is that okay, it build trust. Yes, emotional intelligence also build trust, in the sense that though the parties you want to make peace with will have it at the back of their mind that they have someone who is ready to help them with their needs. Yes, someone who is ready to help them with their needs, and with that it will create a successful and then progressive environment. Then another point is facilitating communication. There's going to be a effective communication between the two parties and the peace builder. You know, as someone who really want to make peace, you have to hear from the two parties. By hearing from the two parties, you will give room, you will ensure that their voices are heard, being heard, and then from there you will know how to ensure that you make peace between the two parties. So then looking at the importance of emotional intelligence is not something that it's more than what we really think it is. It's something that is very, very essential. Now let me use there is a case study I would like to use, and that is Niger Delta Amnesty Program. In 2009, the federal government under the regime of late Yaradua, President Musa Yaradua, we all remember that there are a lot of things going on at Niger Delta. But what did the president and the federal government use then? They actually used empathy and dialogue. They dialogued with them, and through the dialogue, they were able to listen to them, to know their grievances, to know what they need, and with that, they were able to come up with a resolution on providing their needs, maybe creating. What they came up with was amnesty, and with that, there was security in the environment. Everybody were at peace. And then with that, those who were unemployed during that time, federal government created jobs for them. And with they created jobs, and those who really wanted to go into business, they were being sponsored to go into the business. And there was peace, and they have some allocations given to their state as well. So as a result of that, northeast as well, looking at Boko Haram issues, Fulani herdsmen, and then the farmers as well. They do clash, but their leaders, community leaders, actually use emotional intelligence by having meeting with those people involved. And for them to schedule a meeting with them, what they wanted or what they did is they dialogued with them through empathy. They empathize with them, listen to them, communicate with them effectively, and then showed some leadership qualities in ensuring that the two parties reach a they reach a they resolute, as in they come together to tell the community what they want, and everything were resolved. With the few things I've said, I think you will be convinced that emotional intelligence is very, very important in making peace and to resolve conflict as well.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Sharifat, for that beautiful presentation. We appreciate you for that. So once again, to our audience, we love your contribution. We are looking at the comment section. We see lots of you there. Please do well to keep sending your contribution. And also, if you have questions, please let us know in the comment section. So once again, Mrs. Sharifat, we appreciate you for your contribution, for your presentation. You know,
Yeah.
you spoke about the 5 key elements of emotional intelligence by Daniel Goma. Spoke about self-awareness, self-regulation,
Yes.
motivation, empathy, and also social skills. So to our audience, we hope you are taking notes of that. We also appreciate your talk about improved communication and also the case study you used concerning the Niger Delta, which was a conflicting region. But you said, as a result of emotional intelligence from the government using empathy and dialogue, which are key
Yes.
elements of emotional intelligence, that conflict was being resolved. And that is actually important to our topic, because today we are looking at, the claims that higher emotional intelligence leads to more successful peace building outcome. And this claim is actually being supported by various pieces of evidence from research and also from practical case study. And you've done well to show us a practical case study of the Niger Delta region. So we appreciate you for that. We also want
Yeah.
to
Okay.
welcome, yes, we also want to welcome Mr. Paul. Thank you for joining us. So we would love to hear from you. We would love, first of all, to know about your experience as a student of the ongoing 1 month training certification course in emotional intelligence. We would love to know about your experience. So please go ahead and talk to us.
Hello.
Yes. Good
Yes, can
evening.
I hear the question again, please?
Okay,
Yes.
good evening.
Good
Once again, you're
evening.
welcome. Yes. So we would love
Yes,
to
thank
hear, we'd love to know about your experience from the 1 month ongoing certification training. What has been your experience so far regarding the training on emotional intelligence? Please kindly share that with us.
thank you. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Madam Olariwaju Sherifat, and every
Yeah.
other
You're
member in
welcome,
this
sir.
platform.
You're
I am
welcome.
sorry for coming, otherwise engaged in other activities, but I beg for for permission to continue, though I came late. Please.
You can go
Especially
ahead, sir.
the issue of emotional intelligence. My experience so far is that emotional intelligence, it's it's a it's a game changer. It's a game changer in the area of peace building and conflict resolution, concerning how how we can navigate difficult situation and issues, resolving conflict in in my personal life and lawyer. It has given me the opportunity to adopt strategies of emotional intelligence to resolve issues and to give me an
Kuki.
approach. It has sharpened my approach to resolve issues in a winning situation. It has also given me the understanding of how to build building relationship through listening, through emotions, constructive ways that will help to solve problems of life and problems all around, and challenges that I encounter, and also my clients encounter, and also people and communities encounter. It has given me also that I have learned also that there's no hard and fast way to resolve conflicts, rather than the skills that I've learned from.
Mr. Paul, are you still with us? It seems there's a network glitch where you are. Okay, we sincerely apologize for that. We're hoping that Mr. Paul will join us soon. So moving forward, we're still talking about what evidence exists to support the claim that higher emotional intelligence leads to more successful peace building outcomes. Uh, so that is what we are looking at. Now, Mrs. Sherifat has done well to talk to us about the key components of emotional intelligence. And one very key component which she spoke about, which is a core component, is empathy, which is crucial in understanding the perspective of conflicting parties. Peace builders, there's no need for peace builders to demonstrate empathy and in order to build bridges and also build relationship and foster mutual understanding. So, Mrs. Sherifat, we would love you to shed more light on this component of empathy and what evidence exists that it has actually been used, to navigate conflicting situations and also led to successful, peaceful outcomes.
Okay. All right. Looking at self-awareness, you know, it is self-awareness has to do with understanding your own self, and this comes with self-consciousness. Being conscious of yourself, what can make you angry, what helps you feel relaxed, what situation do you think if you find yourself you won't be able to manage or you'll be able to manage. So with the knowledge of emotional intelligence, if an individual can be self-aware, there will be peace in the society. In the in There will be peace in the society because you will know that okay, this person you are relating with doesn't have the knowledge in which you have. You are aware of yourself, you know what or the kind of person that person, the kind of person she is. You know how to use your emotions to manage that person's emotion as well. So if that person is actually bringing it out, you don't have to fight with that person. There is a misunderstanding between you and the person. Do you supposed to also fight back? No. Someone who display emotional intelligence skills shouldn't fight back. Try to reason, if you fight back, what will be the end, what will be the result, what are you going to gain, or what are you going to lose. So the best of it is, if the person is not making it cool with you, the best of it is, it's either you walk away from that situation because you've studied yourself. The more you stand with that person, your triggers may come, you may be triggered and you may do on and undo. So with that, you can always walk away from the situation. You understand? So that is because you are aware of your own emotions, and with that, you'll be able to manage that person. There's an adage that says um silence is the best answer for a fool. You are not being silent because you don't know the response to give to that person, but you are being silent because you are aware of your emotions and you don't want anything to escalate more than expected. And that one will lead us to self management or self regulation. That has to do with, it's either you increase your emotions or you reduce it. So self regulations has to do with being able to manage your emotions in every situation. There are situations whereby you want to make a peace between two parties now, and for you, you shouldn't be self-centered, you shouldn't be judgmental. You just have to control yourself. You realize that okay, this person, okay, putting tribes, putting religion aside, it will surely help as someone who is skilled in emotional intelligence, because you know that okay, there's a clash between two tribes now, and one of the party is from your own tribe. Do you supposed to take side? So you just have to regulate your own emotions and be just in ensuring that you create peace, because your mission at that point is to ensure there is peace and ensure that you are able to resolve conflicts between them. So emphasize, okay, on the component of emotional intelligence. You can always imagine what's going on in other people's mind. Then it's another thing is empathy, putting yourself in another person's shoes. If you are to be in that person's situation, what will you do? So you just have to be someone who is considerate. Let me put it that way. Who is considerate? You have to be soft, you have to be lenient, you have to ensure that you help two parties. Because as a peace builder, you just have to empathize. It is when you put yourself in another person's shoes, that is when you are building trust in those people you want to make peace, that you want to help solve a situation. Then the third one is motivation. Being motivated is very, very important. We have to be passionate about what we do. Excuse me. We have to be passionate about what we do. And with that, excuse me, if you
Thank
are
you
not
very much.
passionate about what you do,
Okay.
there is going to be a resilience. That which is, there's going to be a setback. Yes, there will be a setback. And through empathy, you can build a resilience, which is uh, moving forward even if there is a setback. It is the skill of empathy that will help us keep on going, because as a peace builder there will be a setback, but what really keeps you going, keeps you moving, what makes you persistent in doing what you are doing is resilience. So ability to fight back when there is a setback, and you can only fight back if you are passionate about what you are doing. Then the next one is social skills, building good relationship with people around, with those you want to make peace with, or even yourself as well. If you are not a model, you are not someone people are looking forward to emulate, there's nothing you can say that will make people to listen to you. You are not living by example in the environment or in the society now, and you want to make peace. And you want to make peace. Hello, are we
Yeah.
together, please?
Yes. Yes, we're with
Okay,
you. I'm with you.
okay, okay. Social
Yes.
skills is very, very important. The way you communicate is very, very important. The way you foster
Beautiful.
cooperation, the way you collaborate with people, it's very, very important. Even among your team members, this is very, very important as well. So all these key
Yeah.
elements are very important in peace building and in ensuring that, in peace building and ensuring that conflict is being resolved.
Thank you.
Because
Thank
you're
you very much, Mrs.
all right.
Sherifat. Yeah, thank you. We appreciate you for that. And welcome back, Mr. Paul. It's nice having you join us again. So okay, that's quite unfortunate. So as we proceed, Mrs. Sherifat, you spoke earlier
Okay.
about a practical example, of how the evidence to support the claim that truly emotional intelligence, higher emotional intelligence, is leads to more successful peace building outcome. You spoke about, the Niger Delta situation, and I also want us to talk about the South African post-apartheid reconciliation, which where we see, leadership. We see leaders using higher emotional intelligence to help
Yes.
resolve that conflict amicably. We have leaders like Nelson Mandela, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, which are often highlighted for their role in leading South Africa through a peaceful transition from
Yes.
apartheid to a democratic society. Their emotional intelligence was actually evident in how they approach reconciliation, emphasizing forgiveness, understanding, and empathy, which are key elements of emotional intelligence. Now,
Intelligence.
let's talk about from the part of the leader Nelson Mandela, how um, the emotional intelligence of, let's using the component of empathy, how he was able to approach the situation of the appetite. This was a man that was greatly wronged. This was a man that was in prison, that was falsely accused, and he from a normal man perspective, he was supposed to, retaliate, revenge of how he was wronged and everything. But through understanding,
Okay.
through empathy, he was able to come out and said, it is actually not necessary to start counting
Well,
wrongs. So it's actually important that understanding comes into the picture, and he was able to reconcile both with the blacks and the whites. There was a level of reconciliation, and then that particular conflict was actually resolved. So I would love you to shed more light on this, and also to talk about how empathy, in quotes, empathy, was actually used to resolve that conflict.
As I've said earlier, empathy is putting yourself in another person's shoes. It has to do with feeling the same way other people are feeling. So it is very, very important we use empathy to dialogue, and this foster understanding. Empathy foster understanding, and it allows peace builders to better understand the emotions, needs and perspective of conflicting groups. You listen to them through communications. You listen by ensuring that the two parties are being heard. You listen to their voices, and out of what they narrate, that is when you now pick what this person is angry about and what that person is angry about. Then you now reconcile. And when you realize that by using empathy and dialogue, as in through the use of empathy, you'll be able to dialogue. And when you realize that either of the two parties is on, if any of the two parties are not satisfied, is not satisfied with your conclusion about the way you resolve it, there's always a need for you to revisit it. Either you involve maybe another team to join you in resolving the conflict, or probably maybe when they were narrating their needs to you, it's possible for you to have missed some important information. And with that, they will know that okay, they can build trust in you. Because if you have someone who wants to help you solve a situation and you don't have trust in that particular person, there is no way that you be confident about the judgment that person is going to make. So there is always need for a peace builder to firstly build trust in the two parties. If you are able to build trust, you will achieve what you are there to achieve. And that is what is playing out among our leaders. You will know that okay, even if they're supposed to get angry, they will also try to weigh the consequences. My followers are angry, I am also angry. How are we going to make peace? How is the country going to progress? There won't be any progress, there won't be any development if both the followers and the leaders are angry. So there is always need for the leaders to be patient by using emotional intelligence to solve the needs, or to meet up with the needs of their followers.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Mrs. Sherifat. So, I also mentioned, Desmond Tutu, which who actually established the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, the TRC in South Africa, in order to help and to allow victims and perpetrators of violence to share their experience. This high emotional intelligence was crucial, in managing the intense emotion, especially during hearing. So many people were wrong. So many people were perpetrators of, wrong practices, and then these people were meant to realize that that's, let's say, in other words, be self-aware, be aware of their emotion, and that actually helped in the healing process. So we would love you to talk about the key components of emotional intelligence, that's talking about self-awareness, how self-awareness, using this practical example of Truth and Reconciliation Commission founded by Desmond Tutu in South Africa, how it actually helped, to ensure that the peace building process went on smoothly.
Okay. All right, self-awareness, ability to recognize and understand your own emotions and as emotions of the others. As a leader, he knows. Okay, for the followers who for any violence in the society, those who are creating the violence will always claim that they have something they want to achieve at the end of the day. That is one. And there won't be any conflict without a reason. So as a leader, the first thing, which I mean, what is very essential to a leader is, which is the self-awareness, is ability to manage, to understand and then be aware of what his followers want, what the followers need. Those things are very, very important. And as a leader, so self-awareness, which is ability to understand your own feelings, being aware, the conscious effort of knowing your own emotions, which is very, very important. A leader can take a drastic decision without using emotional intelligence, and the results will not be good for the nation. So for every leader, there is always need to use emotional intelligence in decision making. And if we are able to use emotional intelligence in making a decision, you realize that at the end of the day, both the followers and the leaders will have nothing to lose. Yes, because you will do it in such a way that you are able to meet the needs of your followers, because without the followers you are nothing as a leader. You are a leader because you have those people you have those people you have those people as your own followers. So with that, it's always important for a leader to be emotionally intelligent, being aware of his or her own emotions, and with that you will know when and then how to apply it into decision making.
Interesting, interesting. Thank you very much, Mrs. Sharifa. Now let's talk about social cohesion when it comes to higher emotional intelligence in peace building. This social cohesion can actually help to build trust within communities. When leaders demonstrate emotional awareness and regulate, their emotions effectively, they are more likely to create an environment where the community members feel loved and also feel heard and feel respected, and this can help to reduce tension and also prevent conflict from escalating. Now let's look at example from non-governmental organizations, which is known as NGOs, and also those that carry out field work. Various non-governmental organizations working in conflict zone have actually reported that their most successful peace builders often, exhibit high level of emotional intelligence, and this is actually key, especially in conflict zones, because when you are approaching a community that is undergoing a conflict, it is important that you have high level of emotional intelligence. However, when we're talking about that, we're talking about the skills of communication, effective communication, for the community, to open up to you, to be willing to hear or to listen to what you have to say. First, you need to know how to communicate effectively. You need to understand them, and they also need to understand you. There's also empathy. The community people need to know that they know that you can feel what they are going through, or regardless of the situation, you actually feel and then you respect their emotions. So it's actually important that when it comes to that, these organizations learn how to build rapport and also trust with the local population. So we would love you to shed more light on this. How can this social cohesion, which is a practical example of how effective emotional intelligence can be, and it can help to foster peace building processes.
Okay. All right. Social cohesion can foster peace building yes, it can build peace in any society, in the sense that As you mentioned earlier, that we have non-governmental agencies that go to any conflict zone to ensure that there is peace. Though the conflict zone, they know that these NGOs, they are non-governmental. That is one, and through them, the government can hear their voices. So with that, with that, they see them as people they can trust. They see them as someone, so they can communicate with. They see them as someone who can meet their needs. For example, now, not all the NGOs will not wait for the government to provide maybe social amenities for some rural areas where there is conflict. You understand? So with that, they listen more. They will be able to communicate with the NGOs very well, because they know that through NGO, the government will also listen to them, because the NGOs will also go back to give feedback to federal government that these are the needs of a particular community, and this is the reason why they are being why there is always a chaos in that particular environment. The civil society organizations, they are always there, because they also use emotional intelligence to ensure that their own assignments at any conflict zone is being built based on trust. The people they are going there to meet, they have a way of telling them that, okay, we have come to meet you, we are here to listen to you. And with that, a child that you didn't open your arms to welcome, he or she will just walk away. So when they realize that these people really welcome them, they will open up to them, they will open a channel of communication, because they know that, okay, these people empathize with them and they are ready to dialogue with them as well. So effective communication is very essential. It's very essential in ensuring that there is peace in any conflict environment. And those who are involved in any of the humanitarians or CSO, they are also emotionally intelligent people, because they know that without the skills of emotional intelligence, they won't they will not be able to carry out their own activities to ensure that there is a safety, there is a peace, and there is development in that particular conflict zone.
Interesting. Thank you very much, Mrs. Sherifat. We sincerely appreciate you for your
Yes.
wonderful contribution and your response. So right away, we'll be looking at our comment section to see what our viewers are saying. We want to sincerely appreciate each and every one of you that joined us on today's episode of the Pistol. So we have a comment here from Adindu Chiemeka Evans, and he says,
Okay.
A groundbreaking study by the United States Institute of Peace found that peace builders with higher emotional intelligence achieved a staggering 80% success rate in resolving conflict compared to a mere 20% success rate for those with lower emotional intelligence. This striking disparity um, underscores the transformative power of emotional intelligence in peace building by adeptly navigating complex emotional landscape. Emotional intelligence empowers peace builders, foster trust, diffuse tension, and also cultivates sustainability. Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Chiemeka Evans, for that beautiful contribution. We appreciate you for that. So, to our viewers, we can see your comments, but unfortunately, we are far behind time. We might not be able to take everyone, but we sincerely appreciate you. We see Comrade Owan Fine, Mrs. Felicia. We see Mrs. Vincent's Blessing, Mr. Godwin George. We appreciate you. Might not be able to mention, there's so many names, but we sincerely appreciate you. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for your contribution. So once again to Mrs. Sherifat, we appreciate you for joining us on today's episode. We thank you for, letting
It's
us
a
share
pleasure.
in your wealth of knowledge, and we look forward to, the next episode of the Peace Clinic. So once again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Okay, so lest I forget, this Peace Clinic is founded on the ongoing 1 month free online certification training on emotional intelligence. So if you're yet to join the training, today is a good day to do that. We'll be having a continuation of the training today being the 22nd of August. It's actually online by 7 p.m. GMT plus 1. You can join us here on Facebook, on our Facebook page, or on our YouTube page, Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management. So do well to join us, to share the links, to invite your friends and family to participate in this wealth of knowledge. It's a free training. You're not paying anything for it. And at the end of the day, you will be certified. So please take opportunity of this training and then add to your wealth of knowledge. So we appreciate you once again. The Peace Clinic is brought to you by the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management. So to know more about the Institute, do well to visit us on www.igpcm.com.ng. You can contact us via mail at igpcminfo@gmail.com, or you can call us on the number on the screen. It's +234 703 345 8730, or +234 4156 9400. So thank you. You can do well to follow us on all our social media handles. We're on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn as Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management. You can also find us on Instagram, on Twitter, and on TikTok as IGPCM. So once again, thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you on today's training on emotional intelligence. Thank you very much. And once again, thank you, Mrs. Sherifat, for joining us.